Alright, it's taping. Yeah, try not to move the table. Alright, here we go. He knows it's here because he can smell it. Come on. Come on. He might be a little nervous because he has so many observers.
Keep putting on the
But he's usually a pretty good eater.
Is this your snake? She has a lot.
Come on. So he's not a constrictor, but if the mouse fights, he will curl up around it, see? So if you give him that little struggle, Carlos, back up just a tiny bit so I can close it.
Can we do it again?
Nope, one per customer.
Whoa.
How often do you have to feed them?
When they're young, they need to eat once or twice a week.
Whoa.
And when they're adults, it depends
brushing.
on the size of the snake and the size of the prey, but they can go a month to a year.
Come over here then.
Try not to bump the table too much because he might get scared and let go. So what he's doing, so his teeth are holding on to it, and the top part of his mouth has an extra row of teeth on the inside, and he kind of walks his mouth, and his teeth go like this, and it slowly walks the mouse down his throat.
How long is it going to take?
I don't know, it depends. I'm trying to think.
Is he putting venom?
It could take about 5 minutes to 10 minutes. No, he doesn't have any venom.
Can it digest? Or does
It takes 7 to 10 days to digest.
It looks
They do
like
digest
some kind of juice.
through.
I see. Look how fat that
And the other thing is, now imagine, when you're eating, you can't breathe at the same time. So snakes, actually, their esophagus, it's a little tube, and it comes up, and it sticks out right underneath the mouth, like a little straw, so they can breathe at the same time. Because they can hold their breath longer than us, maybe, but not long enough to swallow it whole.
Isn't it?
So you'll see that the top of his mouth isn't stretching that much, but the bottom of his mouth is stretching quite a bit. Thanks, Carla.
I want to videotape it.
No, I'll do it. It's okay. You watch. You enjoy it. You'll be able to watch this on YouTube later.
I can't even see.
Why don't you go to the other side?
Yeah, Kristen, I should good view from here.
There
Or
is?
you can go, yeah, sure there is. Or you can stand here.
This is a little mad.
Try not to bump the table. Can you guys take your hands off the table, please? Brandon, hands off the table. Sean, Christian.
Why do you do that?
I don't know. I don't know what happened. Maybe the table got bumped and he got nervous. So the thing is, remember, if you're surrounded by lions, you might not want to stop to have a meal. So even though he's a predator, we're predators too, and he might get nervous.
It looks like he's trying to break it.
No, he's just trying to pull it and get his mouth in a good position, I think.
some blood of the mouse.
I think you might be seeing the pink of the inside of his mouth. Now
He's scared in the cave.
He's really consuming
Since the mouse is
No, wait,
taken out, it's
I
hard for him
think-
to
hold on. Let's not all talk at once. It's scary. Carlos, what did you want to say?
Spitted it out a little bit.
Maybe he's trying to get a better grip.
Since
yeah.
the mouse's foot is sticking out, it's hard for him to swallow it in.
Yeah, usually the legs kind of fold backwards so they can swallow it better. So he's
They always start with the head.
They almost always start with the head unless it's very small. And the reason why is that if it's alive, it gets subdued faster, but it's also easier to swallow. Sort of like when women are giving birth to a child, as soon as the head's out, it's all easy, right? So
His arms are starting to go
as soon as the head goes in, it's easier.
The arms are going in.
And the arms and legs will fold backward. And imagine a snake eating something that has horns. Head first would be a lot safer. Because some snakes do eat things that can actually puncture them, and they end up dying. But the nice thing about having a snake in captivity is you can control the size, that it's not alive.
That mouse looks really fat.
Yeah, it's kind of getting squished. Now you'll see it's starting to go down his throat, and you see how he's kind of accordioning his body a little bit.
His butt looks big now.
You'll see he'll start to use his...
It looks like it's pregnant or something.
You'll see that he'll start to use his neck to push it down too. So that was a pretty big mouse for that little tiny head, but that bottom jaw opens up like a door on the bottom, and he stretches.
I think it's right there in the middle.
So you'll see when it's in his belly, because he's not real small. So you'll see a little bit of a bump, but not a huge one.
I see him really fat. I see it really
You
fat.
should see my really
Is this your
my.
only snake?
No, I have other snakes. You should see my jungle carpet python eat a jumbo rat.
Python?
Don't just
Yeah.
pull it out of me. Let
It's
me
only
get
about
out.
6 feet.
can't
Yeah.
see.
Oh, I'm sorry.
You can rent reptile for them.
Yes, you can rent this guy even.
Wow.
Rent.
You could do this at home.
I'm thinking of renting her the cheapest animal she has. I'm thinking of renting her gecko.
Yeah, you can rent a bearded dragon, a
That
leopard
one really
gecko,
likes
a
me.
rosy boa.
Oh my gosh, he consumed it.
Yeah, I have an animal education business, so we have about 20 animals.
Well, you want to be missing.
Lauren was asking about, are they all over the house? We have a reptile room and a bird room. And there's a few that spill out, like he's in the dining room.
It's very easy to mess up my hair. I just wake up and it's already messed up.
So watch when the tail goes down his throat, it's sort of like snake spaghetti. And look at his bottom jaw, see how it's a very funny shape? And it looks kind of bent.
Come on.
After he finishes swallowing it, he'll try to kind of, straighten it out.
Look, I think it's right there. Almost into the
Yeah,
stomach.
see his neck, how fat it is?
Look at his tongue.
That's not his tongue.
I know.
You can stay right here. The mouse.
I don't get how he can eat that.
I know. It's very different than us. I mean, their stomach acid's a lot stronger than ours, too. That's why they can digest the bones. But you can't digest hair. You know how cats get hairballs?
Yeah.
So when they poop, it's usually like hairy poop.
His throat
Ew.
looks big.
But otherwise, it's more like a cat poop than anything else.
He ate it.
So don't
Yeah.
touch the don't touch
Look, there he can stick his tongue back out and
Oh,
see
you can
if
see
there's
a lump.
seconds.
I see it.
Some snakes will just keep going until there's nothing left because they don't know when they're going to get a meal next. Sort of like lions, you know.
I see the mouse bear.
So if there were 2 or 3 more, he'd probably do another 1 or 2 at least.
I need a chair.
Mom, remember when we put our
You don't need a chair, Sean. Here, you come here so you can see
remember
Sean.
when we put our hands
Carlos,
in the
can you move
cage?
your arms? So
Remember
Sean-
his tail was waggling when
In his stomach?
Mhm. 7 to 10 days. So they have to be really warm. If they get too cold, they won't be able to digest it because they use the heat for their metabolism.